I'm Lynn Robinson, owner and grower at Zenith Holland Gardens, and we're in Des Moines, Washington. I'm 52. I'll be 53 in a couple of weeks. I don't have health insurance, and I choose not to because I think I'm healthy enough to calculate the risk to not pay for health insurance. The amount I would spend on monthly premiums would be similar to what I spend on my health every month. Through chiropractic, I see a naturopath, I see an acupuncturist, I take supplements, I eat a really good diet, and I go to the gym and I work out. And all of those things add up to a healthy body, that I have a strong immune system, I'm less likely to get sick. I think that is a more realistic health insurance for me. I think with the current healthcare system, there's a disconnect between the doctor, the patient, and the payer. I like having the direct relationship with my doctor. I pay for my services, and sometimes I barter for my services, that works for both of us. But I also really think about what it is that I'm buying for myself. What am I doing to maintain my body? What's really important? Because I'm paying the bill. Because I'm actually thinking about budgeting my money and paying the bill. About 8 years ago, my daughter and I were inline skating, rollerblading along the Green River, and she fell and split her chin open, and I saw the blood and I panicked and I tried to get to her as quickly as I could, and it was this little sharp downhill, and it looked like I was going to run into her. So I tried to stop and I wound up falling myself, and I put my arm down and broke my wrist pretty seriously, even though I had on wrist guards. And went to the emergency room. We both went to the emergency room and waited for several hours to be treated because it was so busy that day. And it wound up, the whole ordeal, after 2 surgeries on my wrist, it wound up, the bill ran about, well, it was more than $20,000 overall. And what I was able to do, of course I was responsible for that bill for the most part, and what I was able to do was negotiate with the hospital, just like the insurance companies do. They negotiate that bill. So in the end, my broken wrist cost me about $14,000 that I paid that year. And I was able to set up a payment plan. I negotiated with the doctor and the hospital and the therapist.
Absolutely.
So what can I help you find today? The idea of not having insurance, and self-insuring, if you will, that my premiums would run about $6,000 a year, and they're going to keep going up as I get older. I'm only going to have an injury like that maybe once every 10 years. Well, there's $60,000 right there that I can spend on an accident. And it is a calculated risk. It is, no doubt. I'm sure that people listening to this interview are going to be, some people are going to be critical of my philosophy. And I think that if they really stepped back and thought about if they had to actually pay for their own insurance premiums and paid for their own tests and doctor visits, that they would consider very carefully what it is that they're paying for. And they probably would find out, they would realize that they're paying way too much for too little.